man, Valanciunas, we've seen him in a playing game with the Memphis Grizzlies. We've seen him throughout the year. He's got 6 straight double-doubles. Trey Murphy III can let it fly from the perimeter. Brandon Ingram, this is where you need Kuminga tonight. Because the last time Ingram played against Jonathan Kuminga had him in Alcatraz.
That's kind of why I want to start him tonight.
It just set the tone.
Yeah, and just say, hey, you're going to guard him tonight and make him feel empowered and say, look, you got 6 fouls to use, and as long as you're not hacking out there, you're going to stay on the floor because I need you to guard the guy. Like, who else are you going to throw on him?
Is Draymond going to take that assignment?
GP2?
I guess.
It's a tough matchup for a lot of guys.
He's a baller.
He's so much bigger than GP2.
Yes,
I know he does a really good job against bigger players, but Ingram is uniquely long.
Trey Murphy III. It's like 6'8", 6'9".
Explain
Herb
to people
Jones.
who maybe don't know who Trey Murphy is, because Daniel's referenced him multiple times,
Right.
and your head was nodding when he said, he got an opportunity to play early in the year, and now it's paying dividends.
No, it is paying dividends here. So he's a young fella, right? And I remember early in the season, Mully was like, yo, this guy from Virginia. He went through the University of Virginia. He was a first-round pick a couple years ago in 2021 by the Memphis Grizzlies, traded to New Orleans. And when he was at Virginia, I didn't really see it, right? Because they play such a slow pace, a slow system under Tony Bennett. Is it Tony Bennett? Bennett. I know it's his last name.
Tony?
Sing it, Tony. But Bennett, who won the national championship as a coach here in
know-
Virginia. Tony Bennett, famous singer.
Okay,
of course.
can you name one song?
Doesn't he have the San Francisco song or whatnot? Yeah.
I'll allow it. It's close enough.
I snitch.
I know you left your heart in San Francisco.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Used to live over there near West Portal.
I said the San Francisco song.
I mean, just keep going.
All right, whoa.
You're right, Tony Bennett.
Yeah, Tony Bennett. Exactly.
I know he's right.
Hey.
Barely.
Not
Randy
barely.
Bennett.
Not barely. Nah, Randy Bennett, St. Mary's. Tony Bennett's Virginia by way of Wazoo, who had Klay Thompson up there at Palouse.
The way you look tonight.
Look at you. Look at us.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game. KGMZ FM at HG1 San Francisco, always live on the free Odyssey app. Trey Murphy III, he's averaging just 14 points a game, 4 rebounds, but his three-point percentage this year is at 40%. And if you leave him open, he's had some games recently where he's hit 10 threes in a game. He had a game where I think he had 9 threes in the first half alone. So this guy, he's hot and cold. Last night he went 1 of 7 from the three-point line, but 2 nights ago against the Clippers down at Crypto.com Arena, 10 of 12 from the three-point line. Earlier this season against the Portland Trailblazers, 9 of 14 from the three-point line. He will let it fly. So you need to be up on him. You need to get up into his space, make him put the ball on the floor, turn him into a playmaker. That's what you want to do with Trey Murphy III.
Is tonight a night that maybe you bust out a little Moody?
Maybe.
I mean, we don't even account for him when we're talking lineups and things like that. Like, just because he's a little bigger and longer? I don't know. They don't have a lot of options.
I don't know.
The Wiggins absence is really, especially down the stretch here.
Yeah.
It's because tonight's huge.
Tonight's
if they
huge.
lose tonight,
they're going to have the tiebreaker loss against the Clippers.
So what does that mean?
So what does that mean is that they have no tiebreakers. That means they're going to fall back in the pack in the Western Conference. So you don't have the tiebreaker right now against Minnesota. Minnesota's now in the 6th spot. The Warriors are now in the box and playing territory. They don't have the tiebreaker against the LA Lakers. So if you tie the Lakers for the 7th spot, well, guess what? You're going to play that game down in LA, that playing game, like you did a couple years ago. You don't have the tiebreaker against the Phoenix Suns. I mentioned the Clippers, mentioned the T-Wolves. That's a problem. That's a huge problem if you lose tonight. So the way I think about it is you may not start Kuminga, but you need to look early on in this game and say, okay, I need Kuminga to be on Brandon Ingram right away.
Yeah, to me, this is a start Kuminga game. I really do. I think it's Kuminga and GP2.
Especially because DiVincenzo's struggling, Shasky.
I know.
He's shooting 31%, 30% from the three-point line in the month of March.
And what's the big bugaboo for the Warriors? Defense in the first quarter.
Yes.
I mean, that's been a problem.
Well, it's been defense all quarters.
Well, I know, but specifically in that first quarter,
Right.
it feels like teams, the hoop feels like it's 8 feet wide when they're going against the Warriors. So I would try to start Kuminga. I'm a little worried here because I do feel like there's an earned amount of respect that the big three get and demand and should get and they've deserved and earned. But at the same time, like, you got to coach the team the way you got to coach the team. I feel like the big three like GP2 more than
DiVincenzo and Kuminga.
And I feel like the DiVincenzo and Kuminga have done so many really good things throughout the year.
Right.
I feel like they're falling behind in favor of somebody's favorites, and I don't know if that necessarily helps the actual club more.
Yeah,
I get you got the vibes. You guys have kind of tricked off so many games. Yeah. I'm not sure that, like, at this point in the season,
you deserve that benefit of the doubt.
Yeah,
it's about winning.
Am I being too harsh?
No, because you look at the way the game played out against Minnesota on Sunday. Klay Thompson admitted he took some terrible shots in the second half.
Horrible.
1 of 7. All right. So then one of your big three struggles from the floor. Now, Klay Thompson's been great, so it's tough for me to come down this road. But let's admit it. He struggled Sunday.
Yeah.
Did not have it in the second half offensively. Draymond Green, 5 turnovers. Egregious turnovers in the fourth quarter. Just hold the ball. They have a foul to give.
Yeah.
You're not going to the free throw line. Some defensive breakdowns. That's from Draymond Green. Stephen Curry didn't have it because he was in foul trouble. Throughout the first quarter, didn't have his normal rhythm. He goes 8 of 23. And really, Poole had cooked. Poole cooked in that game. Poole had the bad turnover, and then he had the bad step back 3. So your core guys didn't come through once again. And that's why when you see Wiseman get blamed or Kuminga get blamed and Moody get blamed, I laugh. Just watch the game. Watch what's happening down the stretch. The Warriors have not been a clutch team all year. They just haven't.
No, and they haven't gotten stops when they need to. They haven't executed on offense.
Isn't that surprising?
Yeah.
From a team that's won 4 championships?
Well, it's funny because Kerr's so dismissive about running an actual play late in games.
Yeah.
He's always like, well, you got to just give it to your best players and get out of the way. How's that working for them this year? It worked when they were all at their apex and they were all in their physical primes. They could get stops, and then offensively, it felt like they could get whatever they wanted. I don't think that's the case anymore.
Well,
and I don't know, man. Like like in that situation, there was 50 seconds left the other night. I was saying, call a timeout here. This is an important possession.
Right.
Let's take a side inbound and let's run something very specific to either get a specific person a shot or to get to a spot on the floor.
Yep.
Instead, they settle for crap.
Well, I'm looking at the fourth quarter box score here, Shask, and I'm looking at the minutes allotted. Kuminga didn't play in the fourth quarter.
At all.
0. Anthony Lamb played 6 minutes and 32 seconds. Dante DiVincenzo, guess how many seconds he played or how many minutes he played in the fourth quarter?
2?
10 seconds.
Wow, 10 seconds. Wow.
He played 10 seconds in the fourth quarter.
What? That's weird. 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
I don't even. What did he get checked in?
Peyton
checked
played
out?
over 7 minutes.
Was it for defense at the end of the game?
I guess so.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of when he got in there.
I mean, he played 10 seconds.
Wow.
So then
it was a hell of a 10 seconds. So what was his plus minus in that 10 seconds?
I think it was -1. So then I look at the fourth quarter Friday night against Philadelphia, and this is where the GP2 impact is coming into play. Fourth quarter Friday night against Philadelphia, Kuminga 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Didn't have his best game. I get it. Poole and Curry played the entire quarter. Guess how many minutes DiVincenzo played in the fourth quarter?
I don't know.
Played 11 seconds. That's 21 seconds of playing time in the last 2 fourth quarters for Dante DiVincenzo.
Wow.
To me, that just doesn't seem right. I know he's struggling from the floor. Now he was a +1 in those 11 seconds. But that doesn't seem right to me. It just doesn't. So now we have a rotational problem. And that's where the loss of Andrew Wiggins is, you know what? If you had Wiggins, now all of a sudden DiVincenzo and GP2 with Kuminga and Poole coming off your bench, that's a hell of a bench unit. That looks sexy. I mean, wow.
When at the end of the Miami Heat, Bonte, it was like, this is a blueprint game, right? When they were talking about like putting the blueprint together of the big three, right? Like everything was riding on them beating the Boston Celtics to prove that they could get to where they needed to go and win a championship. And this isn't that. This is different. This does feel like they're fighting for the last embers of the dynasty over these last week and a half.
Are we? 888-957-9570.
Am I wrong?
I don't know.
I feel like everything that's going to transpire over the next 2 weeks, whether we want to admit it now or we're going to look back and see it, I feel like the future of the Warriors is being shaped with these 2 weeks.
Well, I'm on record as saying they don't make it past the play-in or the first round. We already know Bob Myers doesn't have a contract after the season. Steve Kerr has 1 more year left on his deal, and coaches in the NBA do not like to come back on their final year of a contract. So you got that situation. What's going to happen with Draymond Green and his opt-in? We don't know what's going to – Andrew Wiggins, long term, what does it mean? I have no idea what's going on with them. No idea. He's not with the team, and they miss him. They miss him on the court. God bless his soul. There could be a lot of changes. So to your point, Shasky, there could be a lot of changes.
It just feels like every single minute of the next 2 weeks is going to dictate what they do this offseason and how this thing either stays together, comes apart, evolves, changes. And I feel like tonight is one of the massive first steps forward.
Huge game tonight. Huge game.